Hello, so this is the branch vlog for 0.2.0.3, the NavMesh one, if I can ever align it. This one. Firstly, apologies if you briefly saw it yesterday. It was just a bit long in the tooth. I wanted to tweak it. There was a couple of things I've learned since then. I wanted to do a bit more better service to the branch vlog. Also, if this seems brighter than before, it's because I've got it to record the HDR rather than force a record as standard, like SDR. So that's the difference. The video will be substantially bigger, so if it takes a bit longer, that's why. It takes a bit longer to load, that's why. So as usual, we'll start at the top and work down. I've bunched a bunch of them in one go, so it should be a quickie in comparison to yesterday. So the desk light not turning on. It's only doing this because it's doing low quality. If I run it, it should force it to be high quality. There you go. So working now. Oh, still low quality. Yeah. So there was some issue with the master light process because, as you know, in the last branch, the lighting expansion, I changed it from just being a normal desk lamp, just essentially a sprite, and then I copy and paste a spotlight into it like that, as you saw. Now it's a single blueprint, all combined into one here, and it was something to do with not the collision, but I believe this was set to disabled rather than play 0. Sorry, it was either that or it was something to do actually in the blueprint with how I'm making it interact. So I just tweaked the master spotlight blueprint slightly. So now it turns on and off, easy peasy. And also, if you press backspace, just like the point lights, ignore Barry, not Barry, David. Ignore David. He's not doing so good. If I press backspace, if you can leave me alone. Oh no, David. Oh, God's sake. There we go. Now, if I try and turn it on, oh, it does work. Okay, ignore me. I haven't done that for the spotlight. What happens is with the point lights, I will go into a bit of detail now if it didn't work. If I press backspace, it will do the equivalent of taking out the light bulb. So in real life, you turn it on and off, light bulb's out, doesn't work. I need to look at master spotlight to tweak that. Fix one thing, break another, but at least we know. So that's, at least it's turning on and off, that's the main thing. Movement of play issue. Yes, I had an Xbox controller that you connect, like the third party ones that you connect into like a USB, and you know when it pops up a little thing on the like around here saying input. Let me show you. 1 second. Let me go get the wire. You'll see. This is where Bluetooth headphones pay for themselves. Right, 1 sec. Right, any minute. Is it gonna do it? Come on. Come on, people are waiting. It would help if I plugged it in, right? Here we go. There, you see? That, I'll unplug it. And when I was moving, it was... Let me go into another room. You'll see what I mean. Lights on. When I was moving, it was kind of doing like that. And it was something to do with the controller was interacting, because I did set up the controller to do basic functionality about a year ago. Yeah, so that was that issue. thought I was going mad. My eldest daughter was playing it, and I was like, "How on earth have you found this new bug?" So that's that bug. Tweaking wall light A. So yes, off the back of that last video, I talked about in the blueprint here about, ignore that, it's the master blueprint. Let me just get it. Wall light A. That's just a placeholder sprite, by the way. It's removed. Wall light. The yellow talked about doing this to make it, look a bit more like a. I always forget its name. It's not like a cathode ray, is it? That's old CV, fluorescent lighting. But you need the source radius to affect how it, affects the environment, like the lighting. So I couldn't do it, but I did tweak it. So now, prior to this, the light was coming from a single point just there, and then it kind of diffused out. Now it goes to the full strip and then diffuses out, so it looks more like a proper. It doesn't look like someone stuck a normal light bulb in the middle of a tube. Like now it looks proper, so it's getting there. Tweak type for enemy collision. Yes, let's use David. Old blueprint, old collisions, main collision, locational damage, head, chest, legs, and it just was the legs, the feet sprite are just kind of going underneath the floor, just not quite right. So I've done a very basic tweak. This will get an awful lot more love, but yeah, labor of love. This one, I really enjoyed getting it to work with the locational damage. It was awesome. So it still works. Just haven't been doing a lot of shooting zombies. The NavMesh is right, the main bit. Let's blast through all these. So, protagonist bedroom. Yes, created the invisible wall. One sec. Create the NavMesh, and then I tweaked it because this was very small at one point, and I went to the recast here. Scroll down. There is I've gone past it. There is a high, medium, and default. If you change these values, because they won't be these to begin with, lower them, lower the agent radius to get more refined edges, like you see here. If it was for example, if it was a circle in the middle, a circular table, you'd lower the agent radius to get a smooth exclusion of it. If you didn't want to use like a bounds volume exclusion thing. So there's that option. I'll show you it now actually. See, the higher it is, that's how it kind of looked originally. One sec, it just needs to rebuild it. One sec. Oh, it's failing now. You know what I mean? Awful. So I was playing around with it and I got 5 to work. And nice balance. There is a bounds exclusion there because without it, you can walk on the table, as you can see there. And I just thought I'd do an exclusion for this bit. Exclusion. There you go. You see, it cuts it out nice and neat. Like little cutouts. So I've done that. The recast NavMesh is built when you build everything. Whenever it says on the bottom right, rebuilding navigation, that's when it's doing it. It's also on a per level basis. So if you are like me and you're like, oh, these values work, just do this. NavMesh in the project, and there you go. High, medium, high, medium, low, default, high, and then you will need to type in agent radius, and there you go. I did them both to 5, and then save it after you've done the project settings, and then it will save it for all the levels. If you do the project settings and then don't save it and then rebuild, it will forget those project settings. So once you change the project settings, do like a control shift save, that one, like a save all, or there you go, like that. That's that. So that's this level. I will go through it very quickly because it's all the same. So Barry bedroom, don't save. Again, this bounds on the bed because otherwise they could kind of go around the bed. It wasn't quite right. We'll tweak it. Looks okay for now. Jackie bedroom. Same again as you imagine. G does that if you're curious what I'm doing. It's like gameplay mode. I will show you them all for good measure because you see there's some glitches like this. There's nothing there. It's not invisible. I need to relook at the settings. There's a couple of anomalies with it. I will admit I'm on 5.2 still. I've not moved to 5.4 Unreal Engine after the drama of going from like 4.9 to 5 or 5.1 to 5.2. I forget, but yeah, GitHub saved me. Let's put it that way. Protagonist bathrooms. A couple of other tasks as well. I changed this texture. This was originally cut in half, and I copied and pasted it very version 1, about as close to version 1 as you can ever get. First draft. So I went into Photoshop, doubled the texture, and then just swapped it out. And that's the NavMesh for now. You might be thinking, Nick, it's not using all the level, but you see, like, even with perspective, it's not. I will look at it to get a bit further, but it's not an invisible wall so much as I think it's perspective doing some weird illusion, because the invisible wall is Control and H. Because I'm gameplay mode. The invisible wall is there, so it's not the invisible wall's fault. Something to look at. Bathrooms look a bit nicer now and kind of coming to life a bit. Jackie's bathroom, very similar. Only difference is colour scheme, and infected Jackie is looking a bit rough. Hallway, easy peasy, but I need to. I'll show you in real time actually. This would be good learning for you. Can affect navigation. There you go. Look at that. It's annoying. Then let's get all the chairs. Bucket and mop. Can affect navigation. There we go. What are they? Warning signs. Can affect navigation. Chairs. Can affect navigation. There you go. Look at that. Easy peasy. This I only thought of doing yesterday. You can right click something, I'm always using simulate physics, toggling it, add to favorites, pops it in here, and then if it's got that ability, it's got that variable, it's there. If it hasn't, it won't show. But like visible, can step on, and can affect navigation. Otherwise, you just see me go like that each time. You probably heard the scrolling noise. I'd need to type in nav each time. Finally learned to use the favorites, so that's a useful tip. That's that one done. Cannot to show you in real time how you do it as an example. We have lower, nothing special. Widened the floor, and he's up in the sky. I should lower him really, but he does level out. He falls to his position. Let's put it that way. So that's that. Upper, this. Oh my god, what a faff! I've got this set up. I had to tweak it with those variables you saw with the nav recast, not in here, even though you click on here, it's in the nav recast. Tweaked it, and it just about works. Let's play it. It's not perfect, but I'll talk about the next branches in the future and you'll understand why I've left it like this for now. So let's shout at him.
Hey, you.
See how he does it. There we go. I'm like, ah. So while not pretty, does figure it out. So good for now. Storeroom, again, weird thing, just like Sarah's bedroom. Need to look at that. Will be to do with the variables for the recast. Guard post again. See, again, nothing there. There's nothing there. I've deleted the lights. Thought there's nothing, absolutely nothing. Yeah, going crazy. Might fix it with an update. Might just be a weird bug, but either way, it'll be sorted. We have upper, left, upper, right. Let's do it now if I haven't already, so you can see in real time. Can affect navigation, all of them. Lovely, look at that, nice. The reason why I've allowed the navigation to be right next to when you use these containers is because I don't want someone to be like, I'll get to the container, I'll open it and I'll be safe. You know, like the enemies can't get them because it's like cordoned off. So that's why I've allowed the NavMesh to go right up to these interactable areas. We have lower dorms. Yes, save. That, nothing special. Cafeteria and kitchen, and then we could talk about the last couple of branches. So that's that. Still odd. Need to look into it. It's almost a repetitive theme. Might be some issue where it's like looking at high or it's looking at low instead of default in those variables, and because there's elements of those variables where they're identical and it might need to be slightly tweaked. This is where I need to do some more investigation into NavMeshes. Got this one working, which is the trickiest one. This was my main focus for the variables. These enemies will follow you around. If I just not load. Hang on. And shout them.
Hey, hurry, hey.
If you want a bit of detail, see if I can do it. Oh, I can't do it. One sec. So that's the NavMesh stuff. Oh no, they've got me.
Danger.
I guess we'll never know. I was just going to show you how they listen. Let's see if I can show you it. Not that one. 3. No, not 3. There you go. The green is sight. The yellow is sound. Sorry, is sound. So you see, last time they saw me, last time they hear me.
Hey.
So you could, in theory, shout. They can't see you. They can't see you, but they can hear you. So then they will go to the sound. Long time ago, I coded that. As you've probably seen, I've got zombies in early branches. I've got enemies which they've got like bandages on their ears, so they're not going to have the ability to use hearing to sense you, only sight and touch. So that's that. That's cafeteria. That's kitchen. Realign the floors. Right. This. In the texture, originally the pivot point was above rather than in the middle. And that meant when I rotated, which I will show you here, I rotate now, rotates. If I move the pivot point, so control holding the middle mouse button in and moving it, I rotate. You know, it's not right, is it? So I move the pivot point, but because I move the pivot point, all the location. This strip that you see me highlighted, this bit was off, so then I had to realign the floors for each one of the rooms. So it needed to be done. Going forward, I've got a task to unify all the objects to get their centralized pivot points and things like that, and centralizing the world map. Conscious this is not at 0, when really that should be like 0, 0, 0 to be honest. Zeroed out. So yep, talked about that. NavMesh bounds modifier talks about that, where I put it over the computer and the beds. Reworked invisible wall, yes. So the invisible wall, don't tell me I haven't actually reworked it for this level. I haven't reworked it for this level. Right, okay, save it. I used to have visible, not visible, and then you have to scroll all the way down. I need to type in visible, and it was a faff. Favoritized it, but before I did that, I just put the alpha to 0.1 on, well, yeah, 0.10 essentially, 0.1 on the texture, so it's nearly invisible. And yeah, if you click something, you press H, it goes invisible. If you hold Control and press H, all invisible stuff comes back. So now when I load up a level, invisible wall, I can see through it. If it's getting in the way, click it, press H, done, job done. So big quality of life improvement, small but like big effect. Bathroom floor tiles and sprites, yes, talked about that. I've tweaked them. And then on to the last bits. So now I'm working on armor in this current branch. It will just be a blanket negate damage for the moment. I haven't got anything set up to do like poison damage, and then like I said in the last video, once you're poisoned, but to get poisoned, the armor could negate that chance, all that sort of stuff. Nothing like that for version 1 of armor. Version 1 will literally be, do you have armor? Yes. How damaged is it? And then depending on the damage, depends on the 20% reduction, 15% reduction, 10% reduction, that sort of thing. Like the more classic sort of like Doom armor mindset. And then Sarah's bathroom, there's a door to do that, I haven't done that yet. Communal bathroom, not done that yet. Hand paint the normal maps for everything. Big one, might take me longer than just, might take me a long while actually, because it's a big task, even though it's just on the front it just looks like a normal branch. Communication interaction, nearly done now, by the way guys. I'll just speed through this, you'll see what I mean. In quite a lot of games, I guess if you play Jagged Alliance 3, when you talk to someone, your portrait pops up on the left, their portrait pops up on the right, you talk and you can scroll up and down, and like that. Let me show you what I mean. I've got to remember all the short keys now. There is John, the protagonist. Let's get Sarah up. There is Sarah, and you see I want it to be like, whoops. Oh, it's tab that does it. Right, so you talk to Sarah. Sarah pops up on the right of your screen here, and then you pop up there, that head, and then you chat, and you can scroll through it. Job done, communication done, ended. Right now, when you talk to someone, text appears above their head, and that's it. So I just want it to, instead of text above their head, if it's ambient talking or just like random chit chat, generic responses on a response list. But if there's any sort of decent communication or quest stuff, that it will pop up this side by side. Very much like Jagged Alliance 3 is the most recent example I can really think of. Yeah. Game Instance version 2. Currently all the variables are ad hocly fed in. I won't go into too much detail because the video will just go on and on. It's one of the problems from the original. But going forward, I want to create a master structure with all the possible object variants that can be in a level, and I'm going to use the level blueprint rather than the player blueprint. And I am going to, when you load up a level, it's going to pull from the game instance that level if you've loaded it up before, or if it's a save game, if you've been there before, or just whether you've been in that level before. It's beside the point for the save game logic. It will load in everything related, and if you save it, it will save everything related, rather than it being, okay, so save the health, save the stamina, save the infection. It will be more like save all of the protagonist in as a blueprint, save all the enemy blueprints, save whether the lights are being on and off, lights are left on or off in their state on the switch blueprints, save whether the light bulbs have already come out, saved whether these items are still in the level, and then it'll load that back in. So it just keeps consistency on a much more refined, perfected way. So that's going to be a big one. Levels version 3. So 3D backgrounds. I'm going to create the walls and the floor as a 3D model, and then put everything else in as you see it. But this, what I've selected, will be a 3D model. Means a few things. I can do a blanket texture. I can do like a UV map texture, stretch out and then wrap it back around. I don't need to faff about with realigning all the walls, realigning the floor. I don't need to worry about any sort of anomalies where stuff isn't like connected properly. It should be better for NavMesh because, like you saw in the stairs, that will be a unified model, and yeah, like the floor. So that should stop the NavMesh having such a trouble, because right now it's 3 separate parts, all kind of creating like the slope effect going down the stairs and stuff. So that will be fun. Almost the mirror opposite to what the classic games development used to be, where you do 3D models, 3D assets, and then you do a 2D background. I'm going to do a 3D background with 2D assets and 2D models. Ever the let's be different person, unintentionally this time, but yeah, that's that. And then finally, the last one planned at the moment is ambient music, and then from there it'll grow. There'll be like fight music, and then just stuff like that. Not the D12 song, but actual like combat stuff when you're in and out of it. And that's the big plan. I've shortened this video by about 12 minutes, so I'm proud of myself. Thank you for your time. The next one you will see will be to do with armor, and might be in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. I really want to get the version 1 down nice and tidy so I can just build upon it. So yeah, thank you, and I'll see you in a bit.